Hi there, and welcome to my weekly vlog. And I must be at the point where, regardless of what's happening, I'm just really into this because I keep thinking, what am I going to share? What's important? Or what is it that's important for me to share? Um, anyway, hi there. Let me know where you're listening in from. It's good to have you here. It's good to have this. It's sort of like one of those destinations in my week. Sort of starts out my week. So, hi, Mary. Mary, I have two Marys, Mary Woods and Mary Kay. And Sherry. Hi, Sherry. So I keep thinking that, I should not talk about the lymphatic system and not talk about being sick and what's been happening with the lymphatic system and because but here's the bottom line, it's what's going on. And so my intent with this was, wow, what a ride, um, was to reflect on the week and to share all the different learnings about lipedema and lymphedema and what was going on. Never in a million years would I ever have imagined when I started this that it was going to be anything more than, you know, picking up some interesting facts. But living through what is turning out to be a major conundrum with the lymphatic system is a whole ball game. But it is what it is, so I'm going to share it with you. So I had an MLD session on Thursday. I have an absolutely, well, I just have wonderful practitioners, but there's one in the Boston area, um, that I have to drive an hour each way, but she's so good. She's worth every single second of it. And so it was a particularly good session. It was very gentle and very kind of quiet, and she moved a lot of lymph. Um, and what ended up happening is, so the way that I've been experiencing all this lymphatic, s- let me see what to call it, stagnation. It's as if the lymph was stagnant. It wasn't moving the way it should be moving. And so, with this session with Megan, by the end of the session with Megan, I could feel, let me like really, this is dramatic pause. I could feel the lymph moving. I could feel the fluid moving, which is kind of strange because it's so subtle in the body. It's not like it does the dramatic pause like I just did. But I started to feel something. And what ended up happening is I could feel the fluid sort of coagulate in my sinuses. And finally, like I'd been trying to blow my nose for a week and nothing was coming and started to come. And then it came and didn't stop. So it was as if the floodgate had opened. And um I just had, you could have chalked it up to I got a bad cold. Wasn't a cold. It was the congestion moving. It was the fluid moving. You can hear it in my voice some. This is after 3 or 4 days of basically, being really sick. So the question is, so I call Leslin. I'm like, I'm really sick again, and this is what's happening. And one of the things that she says to me again is that the lymphatic fluid is toxins. That's what the lymph moves are toxic molecules. And so I was caught twixt in between. What I would have usually done is I would have gotten a bottle of NyQuil and chugged it down, not the whole bottle, but in bits and pieces, and it puts me out, and, and I wake up hours later and feel a little better. And but I didn't want to suppress the toxicity or the processing it through my body. Whether I made the right decision or the wrong decision, I don't know. All I know is I started to drink a lot of fluids. I drank a lot of water. Hold on a minute. Let me see. Hi, Marilee. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Julie. Hi, Laura. uh, Irene. Um, oh, good. Sherry's saying I sound better than I did on Thursday night. Thursday night, we had the meditation group, and I wasn't in good shape. Anyway, Eileen from Puerto Rico. Um, so I bounce back and forth. And so let me tell you this kind of interesting stance, if you will, from, oh my God, here I am. I'm really sick. I feel like crap. I look like crap. And I'm like, holy cow. Holy cow. Um, and of course, part of it is, I can't remember if I told you, but they finally figured out that my thyroid was totally depleted. This was last weekend. So I've been on thyroid meds and they're starting to equalize, which is really good because part of hypothyroid is the metabolism isn't working right. So I gain more weight. I'm like, this is a perfect storm. All of the pieces that have wrapped together. And so, as I said, I can take one of a couple of different stances. Like, one is I could be really pissed off. I really could be. And I have my moments. But I'm finding it more fascinating than not. I can't do anything about it. Like, I can't change its trajectory. Let me say that in a different way. It is what it is. Um, I didn't create it, I didn't cause it. I'm engaging with it. It being all these symptoms that come and go and present themselves. And I'm like, wow, this is interesting. Now, we know I'm a researcher, we know I'm a scientist and a nerd at heart. And I am so interested in learning about what's happening and how we can actually find things that work for the body. Here's the thing. I've seen so many doctors, like many of you have, and bless their hearts. One of my southern ladies said, you know that someone's going to say something when they start the sentence with "bless their hearts." So these doctors, bless their hearts, who look at me and say, "We don't know much about this, so we're just gonna have to wait and see." Hello? This is my body. I'm living through over a year of being sick. Uh, um, sorry. And so I wish I could remember. If you're the one who did the bless your hearts line, make sure you email me. I love it. I use it all the time now. Um, and and I ask, how do I ask? I get quiet and I listen. It's how I started to feel and listen to the lymphatic fluid moving this week. And then I do what I can to move the fluid, to move myself, to move towards healing. So, um, I know we had a Perrin workshop this week, and I got even more excited about Dr. Perrin. Dr. Perrin will be doing the training program in February, and it's almost sold out, which is great because the only people who can come are those who are already trained as either CLTs or craniosacral therapists who work with the head and the neck already, because it's very specialized. I'm happy to say that a couple of my therapists are going to be there and train. So, this is part of my goal is to get, them to work on me. So some of what's in my see my head, my neck, my face, it continues to blow up, then it goes down a little bit, then it goes up again, and that there's a stuckness in the fluid draining from this part of my body and my upper body. So stay tuned. This is definitely, I'm going to keep going until I can't go any further. Oh, this is so great. Sharon, this is beautiful. Sharon says so many of us are an enigma, a mystery, an unknown to our physicians. That is so correct. Like they don't know what's going on with us. Yes. So Vanessa talks about halo therapy. I do that. It's salt. It's some Himalayan salt. They have salt caves around here where you go in and you're just breathing in salt, and it helps to reduce the congestion. Um and it's incredibly relaxing. Thank you for reminding me of it, Vanessa. So, for those of you, thank you, Eileen. For those of you, just your prayers are good. I love your prayers, and I want them, so we'll keep them coming. But even more than that, well, not more than prayers, but sort of up there with it, is the curiosity and the understanding that we can figure this thing out. Not just me. If it was just me, that would be different. But what I'm convinced of is I am not the only one. What I do is I tend to recognize it and give it voice. I tend to articulate it. I tend to ask the questions. I tend to ramble like I'm rambling now, on and on about. Um, I'm an extrovert, and an extrovert in that when I talk through things, it's sort of like seeing the puzzle pieces. It's like I talk about the puzzle pieces, and then, you know, might be right after I get off, or it could be hours later, things start to fall into place, and I'm like, oh, that's what it is. So, it's all very fascinating, fascinating, fascinating. And I think it goes to our wisdom circles. Um, I think part of our wisdom circles is that we do this as a group. We have small groups and we do this kind of, how did the pieces fit together? It's like doing this incredibly complex jigsaw puzzle where all of us have different pieces. And when we put them together, we begin to see the whole, which to me is like, whoa. Could it be any more exciting than that? So, definitely to be continued. Um, I'm in the process over the holidays, especially. Um, we are so I'm going to just talk about it here because I haven't finished it yet. But early on in our process, and I'm talking about years ago before we had the tribe, we did a series of master classes. I wanted to do something where it gave people an opportunity to dig deep and quick and to do it with support, with structure, with a map. Um, so they were called Beyond Lipedema because the goal of it was to be able to identify your own personal pathway. And as you identified your own personal pathway, what your protocol was, and to try it out and make sure that it worked. And, so that you had a way of dealing with managing, maintaining, and sustaining health and well being, even with lipedema and lymphedema and whatever else. And also to explore new pathways. Anyway, we had a blast. It was wonderful. We ran, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 of them. Um, but they're small just by their very nature, they're small. Like, I think we had one that had 12 in it. We had another one that had 17 in it. They're small, intimate groups, and we were missing a lot of people. There were so many who wanted to participate, and they couldn't because of the structure, because of the cost, as you can imagine, with that kind of a small group and with a staff of, I think we had a staff of like 10 at the time, and a lot of very high level people that were working one-on-one coaching. So it was really um, fabulous. Well, um, we ended up pivoting and creating the tribe, which I think is the best thing for um, more people because more can come and it's structured differently. So we're now revisiting going back and recreating the I think we're calling it a concierge level of care where people can get a lot of support, especially people coming in new who are ready to make some big changes quick. That's really what I think of it as. So I've been playing with it lately. And of course I look at, you know, where do I fit in? If I were to come in, I'm an anomaly, I think. Anomaly is, I don't fit the mold. I mean, I started with having lipedema, then lymphedema, then lipolymphedema, then other comorbidities, then central lymphatic dysfunction, which I probably have had all along and just didn't know to name it, but they're all related. That's the thing. I don't see them as separate. I see that there is something going on that affects my entire system. And those are the pieces that I want to sort of put together and understand. Because here's the thing, ladies, I'm not the only one. That's what I was saying. That's how I started this part of the conversation. We all have different components, but we just need to be able to see what the components are and figure out the configuration and what can intervene in it. So that's what I'm doing. That's my science brain, my nerdy self that really gets off on it. Really does. So, all right, I think I've rambled enough for tonight. Have a wonderful week. We're in the holidays. Um, I have a friend from overseas who's here for a few days with me. So I'll be seeing her tomorrow. She's family. She's like really family, like deep, deep family. But she lives in Asia. So she Anyway, you guys know Anjay and his wife Kathy. Kathy's here in the US. She's here for a couple of days, so I'm gonna get to spend the next well, she's been here, but she's had some business to take care of, so she's been doing the business part. So I'm gonna see her tomorrow and we're gonna just be hanging out for a couple of days, which is always good. And then my dear, dear Daniel, he's gonna be here for a week for the Christmas week. All right, maybe it's the week before Christmas. But anyway, so I have all kinds of fun family stuff coming up, which always is dear to my heart. Um, and you'll hear more about whatever else is going on. I love you all. I love that I can, just do this. Still sort of blows my mind that I just open up the computer and I talk to you guys, but it's like talking, it's like you're sitting right here and we're having tea. This is what it always feels like to me. So I love you all. Have a fabulous week. If you need anything or want to talk about anything, feel free to email me. If you email me and you haven't heard from me, I've been sick all weekend. So I'll catch up with email tomorrow. Um, Hopefully this is going to be passing. And